never slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now's the future.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of the Weekly Review. My name is Mike Larkin, and as always, joined by my boys, the dead man of RWT, Paul Morales, Mr. DC Daniel Crimmins, and
I'll pay you!
And our special guest, the Kingpin himself. Let me tell you something, bitch. It's the doctor is in the house, Amir Blackbane Costello. Hello, Amir.
Mike Larkin, fuck you. I love that we always, if you look at any of those old Max Wrestling episodes, every time I was on Max Wrestling with you, I always started the show out by saying, fuck you, Mike Larkin.
Mm-hmm. And then
fuck you, Mike Larkin.
Yeah. So now when we start our show, now I know what we're going to do from now on. As a dedication to Mr. Blackbane over here, we're going to say, fuck you. And I mean, we say fuck you, Moses Marquez. I mean, we always say that. Fuck you,
Moses Marquez.
But you know what? From now on, we're gonna say "fuck you, Michael Larkin."
Fuck Moses Marquez too. I owe him an ass kicking.
That you do. Well, let's start this first and foremost. We mentioned it before we came on the air. If you guys have not checked out the latest Max, you went to the complaint department. Somebody called the fuckery department. You acted like a ghetto Karen, man. What's going on with you over there? You look like Chelsea Green in the car. What's going on with you, man?
It's time to reveal some of our plans. Reveal some of the destruction. You see, I never even had to show up. Every week y'all been asking, where have I been? Right where I needed to be. At home, sitting on the couch, playing you all like a fiddle. Because you're all fickle. You're puppets that we get to toy with. Let's run it back all the way to the Rumble. Well, even before the Rumble, we said Chris was going to take the dual title back. We said we were going to protect Flex Murdoch. We were going to protect his mind and allow him to become the new Knowledge Champion. But where the hell did I ever say that I was going to become new World Champion? Where did I say that we would become new tag team champions? All we ever said was that we were going to destroy your plans. Now, granted, some of my plans was destroyed. Captain, I heard your match or your promo. You're spewing garbage, what the fuck ever you want to call it. I seen your promo at the Rumble, our grudge match. You say that I have a personality crisis. Well, let me tell you something, bitch. I don't have a personality crisis. I am a personality travesty. And I'm okay with that. Completely fine with that. Now, I handpicked our special guest referee. Hello, Kingpin. You fell right into my trap. I hand-selected you as special guest referee, knowing that you would do anything to sabotage me, just like you did. Now, just for the fun of it, I considered seeking legal action, but Captain, I know you already have enough lawyer trouble as is. So I left it alone. And then, Kingpin, you thought you could screw with my brother. You thought you could sabotage him and get away with it? No. So we weaseled him in and made him special guest referee. Just to disqualify your bitch ass. Now, To go back to the tag team titles, we had no desire. We had zero desire to win those tag titles. Flex here was completely content focusing on the knowledge title. And after past experiences with the Demoness, kind of don't blame him wanting to sit this one out. Me, I have no business, don't care, no fucks given. However, since the beginning, since his debut, Chris Reid has been dying for the attention of the Demoness. And guess what? He's got it now, don't he? So, Kingpin, you think you could sabotage me and screw me out of my match? You can screw Flex, sorry, still getting used to the name change. But I be damned if you think you're going to take away this opportunity. I know how close you are and how much you fanboy over the Demoness. However, I cannot and will not allow you to take this opportunity away from Chris Reid. So, what you gonna do, brother? RWT, Kingpin, Emir, Black Bane, Costello, what you gonna do when the walking travesty at Promomania destroys you?
In other words, he's coming for you, nigga.
I am here to file a formal complaint against the Sisters of Minimum Wreckage. Okay? What happened last week was criminal. Absolutely criminal. I put my hard work and time into time. I ain't got no goddamn time. And these motherfuckers out here wasting it. And who let this happen? Who let them do this? Travis, and Chris Reid. This motherfucker probably don't even read. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me started on Flex Murdoch. Did you hear? Did you hear what he said? He used a word that was racially disparaging. I won't repeat it here. I don't want to be offensive to anybody. It started with an N, and it ended with racism. This motherfucker is a part of the Confederacy. These people are down south. We can't let it look. I know some of y'all want to make Max Wrestling great again, but we can't stand for this. You know, who runs this organization? This is a formal complaint. We can't stand back and let things like this happen. That me, the Kingpin, me, baby, I took my time, a thing that I don't have any of, and I created the best promo I ever made in my life. And nobody got to see it. That is a crime. I want to speak to your manager, Max Wrestling. That's what the fuck I want. And then they sat in the car. That's gimmick infringement. I sit in the car. That's what the fuck I do. Look at this shit. I'm in the car right now. That's what I do. They can't copy me. You can't copy respect. I'm so stressed out. I think emotional damages have to be awarded. I don't know. I don't want to hurt Max Wrestling. I don't want litigation. I don't want to get lawyers involved because of gimmick infringement. Because motherfuckers sat in the car. I don't want to, I don't want to call a lawyer because, there was a bad racial slur used towards me. An African American, okay? I need compensation. Dazzy Lee, are you listening to me? Captain, I need compensation. £1. Now take it easy. I know you're British, but when I say £1, I mean 1 pound of flesh. And I'm gonna need it. Every fucking skin cell. Every fucking drop of blood. I want it all. I deserve it all. Travis at Wrestlemania. Travis at Promomania. Travis, I'm coming to kick yo ass. I don't care if it's at WrestleMania. I don't care if it's at Promomania. I don't care where you are. I'm coming to fight you. It's going to be a fight. And I'm going to make you regret making me waste my time. Moses Marquez, you got off lucky. You got off lucky. That promo championship should be with me. But you know what? I'm going to be a new type of champion. I'm going to be a champion of kicking Travis Walker's ass. And while I'm at it, I'm going to slap Chris Reid too. And Flex Murdoch. Ain't nobody going to be able to save you. But I'm going to deal with you later. Because what you got to do is you got to grab the snake out the grass and cut the head off the snake. And Travis, he's the head of the snake. And you know what? When I'm done with you, you little bitch, you will finally live up to your name. Because when all these motherfuckers at Max Wrestling see what the fuck I do to you, the only thing they will call it is a travesty. Fuck y'all.
Yeah, man, that is. I have a pest problem, an infestation, if you will. I don't know if you guys have heard of these bitches, the Sisters of Minimum Wreckage.
The travesty, Chris Reid and Cypher, now Flex Murdoch. Yep.
One of the motherfuckers don't read, the other one can't flex, and the main motherfucker is definitely a travesty. Fuck that guy. But yeah, man, you know, I think there's got to be some organization. Like, look at this place. Look at you beautiful motherfuckers. The reason why I like being here is because there are rules in place. Nobody's going to pop in and cut off my camera and stop me from doing what I do. It's me, baby, the program director, okay? You can't let 3 raggedy motherfuckers come in and stop the Kingpin. I'm the whole fucking show. And when I show up, you got to let me do my thing. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean?
I feel you 100%.
Every day. You know what? You could just come in. You know what? From now on, you want to pop in here and just say what you want to say. You more than welcome.
Say what you need to say.
I want to say, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time talking about the Sisters of Minimum Wreckage, but what I will say is all of us guys here, we're on the right side, okay? We're true patriots. We can't let these motherfuckers from the Confederacy using that foul language come. Wait, Mike Larkin, what state are you in?
Well, I'm in South Kakalaki, originally from Long Island.
South?
Traitor.
Let me see the flag. You got a Confederate flag on the front porch?
No!
You know he does.
Flex Murdoch. When Flex
He's
Murdoch
got one behind his camera. You got it behind the camera.
When Flex Murdoch gets out of the shower, he wraps himself in the Confederate flag. Okay? You ever seen that Dave Chappelle skit? The black white supremacist?
Clayton Bigsby?
Yeah, he broke up with his wife for doing that.
Oh, man.
That's Flex Murdoch.
All we need is Ori Main, Patrick Swayze, and the rest of the North and South cast.
Oh, man.
Oh, well,
what a way to start off the show, man.
Y'all wanted chaos? Here it is.
Yeah, what kind of fuckery are we into over here?
I'm gonna be saying the whole show. You're gonna hear me say there needs to be a ticker. I don't know who edits this. I want a ticker at the bottom of my screen that goes off every time I say "fuck Travis," and by the end of the show, I want to be able to see how many times I said that shit.
Oh, we'll have the count and everything, like I do.
We have one now.
That was one.
Not one.
Yeah, yeah. Weren't you guys counting something last time? I saw it.
Yeah, the suck my dick meter, because Nicola says suck my dick all the time. Yeah.
I messaged her. Hey, I messaged her. She put on her Instagram that she was fighting. She's got a match against
Chris Reid at Promomania. Yep.
So I hit her up. I hope Chris Reid watches this, though. Considering that he doesn't read, I don't know if he can find the internet. But I said to him, I said to her, I said, "Hey, kill this motherfucker. kill him. And she wrote back, "For you, my sweet kingpin, anything." So I think that his death warrant has been signed, and that's what happens when you fuck with me. But Paul Morales, I got a joke for you.
What is it, my brother?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Fuck Travis.
Best joke ever.
Okay, so now we got two going on. All right.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. I'll go off of what Amir just said. So Nicola and Chris are also taking each other on our Promo Mania, and Nicola has called him her little piggy, and she's going to make him squeal at Promo Mania. So shout out to the Demoness for going to make Chris Reed squeal like a little piggy. Oink, oink, bitch. There you go. What's up?
Oink, oink, pig.
Do away with the pork. Welcome to Atlanta where the players play. Anyway, I digress. So let's get this doggone thing started. Let me tell you something, bitch. The first piece of news out of TNA Professional Wrestling here is the recent firings of Gail Kim, and we have the new booker, Delirious Hunter Johnson from Ring of Honor, and the talent relations department is being run by Tommy Dreamer. We also saw the firing of Romy Glazer, and marketing and Sebastian Destrani were also let go. The big one here, guys, is a lot of shakeups in TNA. The beautiful Miss Gail Kim, one former Knockouts champion and Knockouts tag team champion, one of the longtime greats in TNA, one of the longtime employees, is now gone from TNA Wrestling. And Paul, we'll start with you. Lots of shakeups in the land of TNA. Let's start with first Gail Kim, and then we'll talk about now Delirious Hunter Johnston, who was formerly in the booking department for Ring of Honor Wrestling, is now a part of TNA. Started off, Gail Kim, your thoughts, Paul?
Dude, she is a legend. I don't give a damn where she goes next, but she is going to be that factor for any women's division if she does get inserted into it. Plain and simple, whoever picks her up has just elevated their women's division. If they put her there, insert her there anywhere. I don't care. And I think fucking TNA fucked up. This is a complete fuck up by TNA for even getting rid of her. Dude, she's a fucking legend there, and it mind boggles me that Anthem would even consider doing this. They had mass firings like last year sometime. I believe we talked about it, and again, we're back to this again. Dude, she could go anywhere and elevate any freaking women's division in any company.
I agree. And I think from my end, you look at someone like a Gail Kim, even her first tenure in WWE from 2003 to 2004, her initial start in TNA in 2007, where she was part of the Knockouts as well, and everything that she did prior to that with AMW, America's Most Wanted. Her second WWE run, not so much, excuse me, while I eliminate myself from the Battle Royal on live television. But for the remainder of her TNA career, definitely one of the greats and definitely Hall of Fame worthy. And I also will say, WWE on USA, I see you on Twitter putting up the anniversary of Gail Kim's second return and giving hints that we might see her in WWE, if not wrestling, but in a role where she helps the Knockouts, much like a Sarah Amato, a.k.a. Sarah Del Rey.
NXT says what?
Hey, there you go. Daniel, we'll go to you next there, Mr. NXT says what? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, honestly, if first and foremost, if I'm Tony Khan, I've already called up Gail Kim and said, I'll pay you!
I'll pay you! I love you! Squeeze me!
No.
I don't think Robert would let that happen. I'm pretty sure her husband would probably be over there flexing all over Tony Khan and be like, "You need to relax."
I'll cook you, motherfucker. Go ahead.
But he needs to. Like honestly, wherever she goes, she's going to be, a huge asset for whoever. And there was a story not long ago that I think the president of Anthem and her didn't get along.
Oh, Ed Nordholm.
So that she and Ed, that she and Cousin Eddie didn't get along.
Yeah, that seems to be a common thing.
I think, it's not a good look for, wrestling when, you for a company when you fire as many people as they have been. It definitely, from a business aspect, can make people, kind of second guess things. But I think we can all agree that eventually WWE is going to buy out TNA.
Oh, 100% with how this relationship's going. Absolutely.
It's not an if situation, it's when.
Oh, and I can't wait to get this opinion. Mr. Doctor, your thoughts on Gail Kim being fired from TNA?
Okay, this is purely a business perspective.
Okay.
My doctorate is in business with a concentration in organizational leadership. So I wrote the book on this, literally 146 pages dissertation. What you guys are saying makes 100% sense to me, that WWE is at some point going to absorb TNA. And what happens with that kind of stuff, obviously, is that WWE has people in position, and then people in TNA have been made redundant. So I want you to pay attention if somebody replaces Gail Kim and who it is and what their ties are. Because when you start to work with a company like WWE, who you have, doing your things, booking, training, all these things, you have to have certain people in place, because unfortunately, whoever WWE attaches themselves to, if those people look bad in any way, then the headline is WWE affiliate XYZ negative thing, or company associated with WWE XYZ negative thing. So the moment that you go to put two companies together, they're going to start trimming the fat. And I would be kind of surprised if I saw Gail Kim pop up in WWE in any capacity. But I think that, I think this is like, you got to get people in the right position, and you have to have, they have to start inserting their people, and they have to have control over there. Because at the end of the day, the stock is big and they can't take no hits. And that's the tough thing, man. You can't let what's happening at somebody else's company bring you down. And because of the way to mitigate that risk is to start the takeover slowly like this,
I think to add on to your point, if you look at it, we're under a different regime in WWE. This is Triple H. This isn't Vince. So Gail Kim had such a huge issue with Vince. So now that you have Paul Levesque there, you look at that has to be more appealing than having to go to AEW. You look at what Shawn Michaels is doing in NXT. That looks more appealing than it does in AEW. Not to say that she couldn't hold on to the challenge going down to AEW or going over to AEW. I don't want to say going down, but I mean going over to AEW. I'm pretty sure she could take that on and make that women's division look spectacular. I mean, she could literally put some organization where Tony Khan doesn't have it. So going there, she could pretty much benefit from it. But going to WWE, even if she's inserted either on SmackDown or Raw, she can literally change the whole landscape of either show, no matter which brand she decides to go to.
Are you saying as a talent or as some sort of official backstage?
Either or, it would work. I mean, a nice Royal Rumble appearance from Gail Kim, would be awesome just this year in the Women's Royal Rumble. Like I mentioned, working with the Sarah models, the Sarah Del Rey, helping train the girls and producer role. I think you have so many ways of her to be an asset for this company. And like Paul mentioned, we're in the Triple H era, so we're more respected. We're more in tune and inclined to work with all these people, unlike Vince, where it just would have been like, what the fuck? So there's a different mindset and a different regime of like what Paul said is happening. So I think either or will suffice, to be completely honest.
I think now would be the time that we can transition into what WWE just recently announced.
Alrighty, so let's go into this, and you will see the graphic here on this photo. WWE has announced the Immortal Moment matches are now going into the WWE, and what better match to put in there than the classic from WrestleMania 13? Ken Shamrock as the ref. Steve, do you give up? Bret the Hitman Hart versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 13, the submission match. Definitely an amazing first choice to see going into the WWE Hall of Fame. I'm excited because when you think of WrestleMania, that is one of the matches that epitomizes and entices and symbolizes WrestleMania. So we will start and switch it up here. Flip the script and reverse it like a Missy Elliott track. We'll start with Mr. So, Mr. Amir Blackbane Costello, Kingpin, your thoughts on this announcement? The Immortal Moment, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart, is going into the Hall of Fame.
They're putting moments into the Hall of Fame now?
Yeah, now they're introducing, now that they have, I think what they're trying to do is kind of create a different image for the Hall of Fame in particular. So now they're trying to take iconic moments from WrestleMania in particular, not like SummerSlam or Survivor Series. I think what they're taking is just specifically WrestleMania for right now, anyways. And the first inductee was WrestleMania 13, Brett versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, and that was the match. That was a great match.
Okay, yes, this was a great match, but I don't know, man. Here's what I'll say. I'm not trying to be like a contrarian or controversial, but
liar.
You're right. You know what? Let me stop lying. Fuck Travis. I'm never gonna forget. I'm never gonna forget that a dying Big Van Vader said, "I'm dying." WWE knew he was dying. There was clearly an opportunity to put this man in the Hall of Fame while he was alive. They didn't do it. There's no reason why they shouldn't have done it, but they didn't do it. So now maybe this whole point is negated by the fact that there's this other regime. Maybe Triple H is like, hey, if it was up to me, I would have did it. That was a Vince decision. But I still, I look at the company history as a whole, and I think that who are some of the people right now who are not in the Hall of Fame who deserve to be? And before they get there, we're putting moments.
Demolition.
I mean,
Sid Vicious.
Sid Vicious, who just recently passed away, just this
Right.
a few months back.
Dutch Mantle.
Okay.
Okay. So the thing about putting moments is
I got one that's very, very random. Rick Martel,
yes. Him and Tony Gurria, yeah.
As I said, Amir Costello.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I got
right?
one. I got one for you. You've always
Jinder Mahal
in my book, man.
Oh, we're gonna get to Jinder Mahal. This one over here with putting Jinder Mahal in the Jinder Mahal versus Randy Orton, WWE Immortal Moment Hall of Fame. Put it in.
3MB.
It was a 3-man band. Okay. No, but I mean to go on to Paul and Amir's point here, I think definitely a Vader match, like Vader versus Shawn Michaels from SummerSlam 96 had an impactful moment. That would be a great immortal moment. But there's so many things that they can do. And Daniel asks you, what are your thoughts on Stone Cold and Brett being the first immortal moment to go in?
I mean, it's a good match. This now makes Bret Hart the only 3-time WWE Hall of Fame inductee.
Yes, and Stone Cold will be too.
I think most people are. Well, no, Stone Cold's only in there once.
Well, this will be number 2 for him. One with this, and then
which I think everybody's cool with this except for Bill Goldberg.
Bill Goldberg.
Let me tell you about Bill Goldberg.
But no, I mean,
honestly, I think not and say you did.
Oh,
let's hinder Goldberg.
Hinder the Goldberg. Oh, but yes.
I think it's a good match, though. For the first one, I don't know if that's what I would have gone with, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. But I mean, technically, shouldn't Ken Shamrock be part of this too? Because he was part of the match.
There's also rumored that they were going to put Ken Shamrock in solo this year or another time. But there's talk of Ken might go in. Kamala.
They're putting Solo in. He's a little young.
Ken Shamrock solo in, and as well with Kamala is also rumored. Now after that, the natural disasters.
Wait, like the former vice president?
Stop it.
No, but I mean, you look at iconic moments. I mean, yes, this one was very much, one of those great moments in WrestleMania history. Shawn and Taker can be a hell of a lot better. Hold on. 60-minute Iron Man match. That man right there, Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels.
WrestleMania
again, something else there, and they could both go in three different times. At the same time. They both can hold that title. And if it ends up becoming, a thing again, look, you're going to end up with Bret in there for a 4th time with him and Shawn. I'm in my mind, it's like the greatest moments of WrestleMania. You have to look at where the Attitude Era started, and a lot of people say this was the beginning of it. Then you get a lot of people who said it was the following year when Stone Cold won the WWF title from Shawn Michaels. I mean, you can you could say either or, but this was an iconic moment. Hogan versus The Rock. How many, we had Rock versus Stone Cold how many times at WrestleMania?
3 times.
Hogan versus Warrior.
Yep.
Hogan versus Warrior. Shout out to Denise Salcedo. You go on her YouTube, and she actually posted 13 of the greatest moments that she actually listed. And this was one of them. But I don't know if it would be on the top of my list as being like the first inductee. Nah, but still, great moment.
I mean, it's a great moment. And when you think of WrestleMania, 2 prominent roles, whether against each other or together, like we see in this matchup, it's Stone Cold and it's Bret Hart. And speaking of people that are coming together, if you will, let's get into Saraya now, because my goodness gracious, gentlemen,
Paige.
Saraya, you remember Paige?
You remember Paige? This is courtesy of the Hall of Fame podcast.
He's all like, hell yeah.
So Saraya has announced that she is departing AEW. It was amicably. They went their separate ways. But this is from the Hall of Fame podcast. She was on Booker T, the five-time, and Brad Gilmore WCW champion show. She said she would absolutely return to the WWE. And I quote, "Yeah, so I love WWE, and I don't have any negative feelings towards them. They raised me. They saved me a lot. I just appreciate them so much. The idea of going somewhere else was only because the potential of my brother being there was a big thing. I just wanted him to be a success in wrestling. But I love WWE, and I would absolutely, if there was something that they needed from me, which was exciting, I would definitely go there. Yeah, that would be silly not to. I feel like, so yeah, if there's an opportunity to do something fun, hell yeah, I'll jump on board." And let me tell you something. We mentioned the Royal Rumble pop. Can you imagine the Royal Rumble pop when Paige's music hits and she comes into the Royal Rumble? My goodness gracious. And let's not forget, she's an original Triple H girl from the NXT days when she was the anti-diva in 2013 to 2014. So I think a Paige return is imminent. I am really, really excited to see what we do coming from here. I think Tony fumbled the bag. I know he had Zach Knight, her brother, there. But god dang it, man, ever since her initial run in AEW, where she debuted at Grand Slam, then would win the AEW World's Heavyweight Women's Championship at All In, like, she had some moments, but it could have been done so much better. We'll start with Daniel Crimmins on this one. Your thoughts of Saraya leaving AEW and a potential return to the WWE?
Mike, I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to be a potential return. I think if the deal isn't done already, they're working on it.
Okay.
You can't tell me there hasn't at least been a conversation here. Guarantee you they've talked at least once. And, I don't think it's going to be Rumble. I don't. I think it's going to be the night after Mania, if anything.
Okay. I'm going to raise you on this. Since they're also talking about WWE Evolution coming back, how sweet would it be if she returned out the Evolution pay-per-view? I'm just saying, man, there's possibilities of how you can build that for the second all-women's pay-per-view, and you have all these people coming back. When you think of women's wrestling, you think of Saraya, you think of the Knight family. So, I mean,
give me Paige versus Rhea Ripley.
This man over here, Paige and Mommy. Okay, all right,
Daniel
Crimmins. I want it. I need it. Freaking sounded like SpongeBob trying to get water.
Give me what I want.
Mommy's always on top.
Hell, giggity. So giggity, we'll ask Amir over here, since, I mean, Amir, for those who don't know, we mentioned Max earlier. Amir is a fan of Nia Jax and her bathwater. But on the other side of things, we'll talk about Saraya now before we even get into more some Nia. But Amir Black Bay Costello, your thoughts on Saraya coming back to WWE, bitch?
I mean, man. Okay. I think that Paige is does everybody that leaves AEW, do they all have to go back to WWE?
Yeah.
No, yeah. Well, I mean, TNA, I mean, you could do something there because of the relationship, but I think it's most likely WWE.
Here's what I'm trying to get at. Somebody comes back.
Right.
There's a huge pop. Hey, look, this person's back. And then 1 week, maybe 2 weeks later, it doesn't matter. There's that huge pop that first time, and then it immediately goes back to doesn't matter, because the people who are the major players right now, they're not just going to abandon them because Saraya shows up. Just like when we were talking about Gail Kim and Michael Larkin, you mentioned she could be good in ring, and she could also be good in the back. Well, you think about who's helping the women in the back off camera. That person's just going to become chopped liver because Gail Kim showed up. So the issue with Saraya and some of these other people returning is that people have these spots already, and I don't know what all she said when she was with AEW, perhaps thinking that she would never need to return to WWE. And a lot of times when these people come back who are bona fide stars, they do have to start out at NXT. Like there's some punishment you got to go through. You got to kind of earn your way back. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, if she comes back, how interesting could it be? Anybody? Is there anybody who can't wait to see the next Page match? Or am I crazy?
No, I mean, I look at it from your stance as well. Like, she could help teach a lot of people. And the thing about it, like you mentioned there with NXT, it's not like the proverbial demotion anymore. Like, they're on the CW now. You have a lot of people that would even love to see a Saraya match in NXT, like her and Roxanne Perez. Or
Jade.
Yes, and so many people that would work. I think at the end of the day, either way, much like a Gail Kim, however you suffice it and you put it together, she's an asset for helping the youngins, if you will. And I mean, to go off Amir's point, we'll go to Paul on this one. Your thoughts on Saraya potential WWE, NXT, the pop of Rhea versus Saraya, the pop of a Royal Rumble, just many different layers and aspects and levels, so to speak, of what Saraya could do in her return. Go ahead, Paul Morales.
I think you have to look at it where she was at when she left WWE. You have to look at her position on the card or on the roster where she was at when she decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'm going to start doing work with, with another company. She went to AEW. Yeah, she had that huge pop when she debuted. And then it was like, you have one huge match, in Wembley Stadium. She got that amazing welcome, from everybody there. And then it was like she went away, even though she was appearing and she was in this faction with the former Ruby Riot,
Ruby Soho,
Ruby Soho, and they had that little faction that they had, and it was like they did nothing with it. So where she was at in AEW as opposed to where she was in WWE, it's like night and day. Would we as fans like to see her come back? Of course, we'd love to see those returns at any point in time, but they also have to make sense. We also have to look at them and be like, hey, do you have something for them? Do you have something in mind for them when they return? I don't want them just to return and be like, okay, I'm here. I'm not doing anything with them.
The reason why Cody Rhodes works coming from AEW to WWE is because he left WWE with a very low stock. He elevated his stock to the moon, to infinity and beyond, and he came back completely elevated. But somebody like Saraya, and I mean no disrespect by this, but in going to AEW, it wasn't like she went over there and became this incredible star, blew everybody away, and now she's returning to WWE. She's returning to WWE potentially at about the level there's nothing significant really about it. So other than the pop the day she comes back, after that, it's just like file into whatever. We'll see you every now and like, you know what I mean? What's the purpose of it?
No, I'm right there with you. I mean, where Cody Rhodes was in 2016 when he left as Stardust, the stock was very low, like Amir said. Then he did the circuit. He went to TNA, he went to New Japan, he went to Ring of Honor. He made a name for himself with the Bullet Club and made a name for himself on the independents. Then, of course, AEW started, and then he left a mere 3 years after AEW started. And look at where he is now in WWE. So Amir is absolutely right in his sentiments with how we see the stock grow up here and then how you really make a name for yourself outside the WWE auspices.
To be fair, Mike, I think the reason she went to AEW was simply because she wanted to show the WWE.
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. I love you.
She did it because she wanted to prove to the WWE that she could still go, that she could still get physical in the ring. Because at the time, it was obvious. She had said, they're not going to clear me. She said, I can still go, but they won't clear me. And she didn't have the star caliber as Bryan Danielson. So you knew they weren't going to clear her. You knew it. But she showed that she can still go. Now, does she have years and years left in her? No.
She's
But
33.
I think she is
Or
somebody
she's gonna
that,
be
you know,
33.
they could make her a job offer, you know, say, hey, do X amount of time here. And then when you're done, you know, she could have a job in the performance center as a trainer. She'd be good at that.
If they do bring her back, DC, they have to bring her back in a big moment. Like it's got to be one of those things where, like, you know, Bianca Belair was getting ready to go over and win the belt, and then Paige shows up and costs her the match. It can't be just like showed back up for some random thing and then immediately falls by the wayside. They gotta have something big for her where she's gonna be some monster heel or something that allows her to be on TV week to week. You know what I mean?
So hear me out. If I'm fantasy booking this, how did she debut on the main roster? She came out the day after WrestleMania to confront the then Divas champion.
Right.
Who's to say she doesn't come out on Monday Night Raw and confront whoever, you know, the women's world heavyweight champion is?
That is very true.
Almost symbolic of what she did before.
True.
I hope when she shows up, though, honestly, for me to care about it, she can't show up talking. She's got to show up and punch a bitch straight in the mouth.
I like your style, man.
That's it, man. You know,
let she and Rhea go at it.
Ooh,
yeah.
Hey now.
I would love it if Rhea's the champion. Yeah, let her go at it. If it's Io, I would love for her to come out and just punch Io in the mouth and be like, "I'm back."
Oh my goodness!
And then just say, "It's Paige here."
Paige here. Well, speaking of someone else who's here, Mandy Rose has been making waves on Twitter. Oh God, Mandy!
You remember Mandy Rose, don't you?
You remember Mandy Rose? So she responded to this gentleman, Pittsburgh Payne, on the Twitter machine, and she said, "I like when WWE tries to pretend that their own history doesn't exist or that we're all stupid or something. Mandy Rose was the first women's double champion. Don't let them fool you. And that's no knock at Stephanie Vaquer. She's great. She's just not the first." And Mandy Rose replied back with, "Haha, yeah, it's pretty pathetic, isn't it? Thanks for the recognition, though. Appreciate you." And then Mandy Rose went on Busted Open Radio. So let's play Busted Open Radio first, and then we will get to what we get to as far as this goes. So yeah, Mandy Rose responds. We'll start with this one first. Here's the 43-second clip.
It's so funny to me that the people that never held a championship before are the first to sit there and argue about what counts as a double champion. Listen, y'all can argue semantics all that you want, but I still held 2 titles at the same time. Yes, unified them. Thank you. And call it what you want. Who cares? Double champion, Mandy 2 belts, undisputed, badass, whatever. It still doesn't take away the fact that I did it. So, you know, y'all can keep fact checking over there, and I'll just keep winning. Mwah. Have a great day.
All right, we'll start with this one first. Y'all's thoughts on this, because this pissed me off on many levels, because Mandy Rose, yes, she beat Mako Satomura and Blair Davenport in the triple threat at When Worlds Collide to unify the WWE NXT Women's Championship and the NXT UK Women's Championship. But here's the thing. That title never got defended by Mandy Rose. They just did away with the NXT UK Women's Championship, which was worn by Mako Satomura at the time. Stephanie Vaquer literally just defended both the NXT Women's North American Champion and the NXT Women's Championship against Jada Parker and Fallon Henley, respectively, and successfully on NXT. So, Mandy Rose, I say this with the utmost sincerity and respect, but also bluntness. Shut the fuck up! Paul Morales, go ahead.
You didn't defend those belts. You were literally unifying them. So, literally, as soon as you won that title, it went away.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hold them up for one literal camera shot, and it went away.
Right.
You didn't have it after that. You didn't get to do anything with it. You just literally 2 belts, hold them up. That's it. They went away.
In the bin.
Yep, exactly. And what happened with Stephanie? Stephanie just this past Tuesday defended not only the North American Championship, but her NXT Women's Championship. So tell me that there is a difference between holding 2 belts for a couple of minutes and then over holding a belt for a couple of minutes and then, and then defending them.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
Well, this was also at the time you also have to recognize they were doing away with the NXT UK brand. Like Braun Breaker had just beaten Tyler Bate to unify the NXT UK World Championship and the NXT Championship. So they did away with all the titles from NXT UK, and then they just merged everybody. Either they went from NXT UK, went to WWE, and other NXT UK wrestlers went either to TNA or AEW, hence name one is Trent Seven. But I look at it like this, man. Mandy, there's a difference between unifying them and actually holding them like Stephanie Vaquer is. They're showing prominence to both belts, and Stephanie Vaquer being that fighting champion. So it adds a lot more elements to it, especially the storytelling with Fallon Henley chasing the Women's North American title and wanting it back. So I'll head on over to the doctor. Doctor, give me the news. I got a bad case of loving you. Amir Blackvein Costello, your thoughts on this?
Mike loves you.
Hey.
Man, I don't like that transition, man.
He never says he loves us. What the hell?
He the DOC of the group. You know what I'm saying?
So your Mandy Rose sentiments before we play the clip.
Yeah, my thing is, I think you guys are being too hard on Mandy. It's not her fault. It's still real to her.
Damn it!
It's not her fault. If you're the badass. Yeah, if you're a badass and you have all this success and you're shaking your ass and making all this money and you're doing all these great things outside of WWE, how exactly, though, have you moved on if every time something happens in WWE, you're like, this person stole my gimmick, this person, blah, 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 blah. Like, you're still so invested. Did you move on? And look, wrestling fans don't get mad at me. I'm a massive wrestling fan. I've been to a shit ton of wrestling. My life has been wrestling for many years. But I'm going to say something because it needs to be said. Wrestling is scripted, okay? So when it comes to that, if you're going to be like, hey, I did this thing and I'm a badass, it's like, at the point that it's scripted, what exactly are you arguing? Like, bro, you did a thing, you were great at it, and then you moved on, and now the company, they're choosing to frame things a certain way based on putting over current talent. And then you look like a weird person who's no longer in the industry, but you're commentating. You just look like a weird. I hate to say this, but don't be a Ryback, please.
Oh
yeah, don't be a Ryback. Put that
on.
on.
The ref takes a point away.
Oh my lord,
stupid
man! That was a low blow, man. You know what? Refs taking a point away.
Oh,
they take 2 for 2 low blows. You know what I'm saying?
So before we get Dan's thoughts, because the doctor over here actually segued, so we're going to get into this now. So points to Amir for the segue. This was Mandy Rose on Busted Open with Dave LaGreca, Tommy Dreamer, and Mr. Nick Nemeth. She said, and I quote, she discusses the possibility of a WWE return. I feel like I'm a little bit erased from their Rolodex of superstars. I could be wrong, though. And then, Dan, we will get your thoughts, and then we'll all go back around that table. Boom.
What about a Royal Rumble appearance? Like a one-off?
Yeah, I've thought of that for sure. I don't know, kind of like we mentioned, I don't know. I don't know if they look at me like they would accept me back in a way. I don't know how they feel. I've never had a conversation, but I don't know. Do they think, I don't know, are they really offended with what happened? I don't know. Are they maybe they just don't want to be associated with me anymore in a sense, because I feel like I'm a little bit erased in certain scenarios. I mean, NXT did mention me not too long ago. I saw like a promo package when they were talking about the women's champion, or the women in general, of like evolving and all that, which was cool. So I'm like, okay, that gave me a little hope, a little glimmer of hope of like, oh, okay, I got a little recognition there, which was cool. But yeah, I just feel like I don't know, I feel like I am a little bit like erased from their Rolodex of, I don't know, superstars. I don't know. I could be wrong though.
You legit just said they featured you in the part of the women's champions of people who've been on NXT, Mandy Rose. It has nothing to do with that. It's called you made a decision and you got fired for it because of the OnlyFans. And congratulations to you on making that bag with what you're doing. You're doing the collabs with Macy Estrella, the former Lacey Evans, and doing your thing on that front. But damn it, it has nothing to do with that. They've moved on and they're going on in this direction. You know, we got the upstarts like the Roxannes, the Cora Jades. We got Sol Rucas. We got the Zarias. We got everybody on there. They're focusing for the future, and you represent a legacy, but they're going in a different direction. Oh my goodness gracious! Shut the fuck up, Daniel Crimmins hit it.
You know, this is going to tie into the point that I was going to make previously, and I'm surprised none of you else saw this.
Yes,
he's angling for a fucking job.
Yeah,
he's trying to say, "Hey, you know, I'll come back. You know, do something with Stephanie Becerra." First, it was fucking Tiffany Stratton, which I'm sorry, Tiffany Stratton is 10 times the worker that she ever could be.
Well, also put respect on my name. She's not the only person to say that. Birdman, hello. So I mean, hey man,
amen.
But you get what I'm saying. She's trying to angle for a job,
right?
I love Mandy, but dude, she's gonna be 35 this year.
Yeah,
not to say that age is just a number, but in wrestling terms, as far as women goes, it's up there. You know, you get to a certain age, you know, with as a female wrestler, and can she still go? You know, how many events has she done on the indie scene? None that I've seen her do.
Mean signings, but that's about it.
Yeah, other than I was just gonna say that, other than going to signings or going to different wrestling cons, that's all I've seen her do.
The problem is to do wrestling events, like actual wrestle, she's still trying to get WWE money.
Right.
And she's doing OnlyFans. How the hell is she not how the hell is she not making money?
Right.
You know what I'm saying is
if she's the one that's coming on all these places telling everybody, oh, well, I made this and I made that. And it's like, kudos, great. Why do you want to go back to WWE if you're going to make that money showing off your body on OnlyFans? It doesn't make any sense to me. You know, why do you want to go back? Why are you so desperately, clamoring to get back into WWE? It's because she's getting up there in age, and she could just be getting up there in age, and she just does, and she feels like she has more to give back. If she has more to give back, then don't act like an ass. You know, be smart about it.
Yeah, I'm with you, Paul Morales. I think what you got to do is you can't look like the crazy ex who's you're online talking about your ex, and they're on their third relationship since y'all broke up, and you're the one who can't seem to let it go. And it's like, look, if you want to be back in WWE, the way to do that is not to do the interview circuit and trash them in an aloof way, in a vague way. We know what you're doing. Maybe just a private phone call to the people who run things over there at this time and say, hey, I'd like to come back. But the little shots it's really odd, like, because it comes across as desperate. By the way, I'm on record as saying this on Max Wrestling and on shows with Mike and stuff.
Travis?
Hey, no, can I tell you something about Travis?
Yeah.
Travis, no, honestly, we have this thing going on, but if I'm honest, and you guys know, I've known Travis for a long time. Travis is a piece of shit.
I'm dead. I'm going.
But yeah, I'm like, you got to. I don't like the guy who leaves WWE, shows up on TNA, and then airs his grievances about WWE. Because my thing is, once you're not in WWE and you're doing something else, whatever that may be, what if you just enjoyed that? The person who constantly is like, yeah, but they did this and it's like, bro, but you're not there anymore. You're rid of that. So if you're no longer there and being impacted by it, why are you spending all your time talking about it? They're not talking about you, which is one of your problems in the first place.
Because I'll pay you.
I'll pay you. I love you. Well, I think that's a great segment to this next one. So I'll pay you. I love you. So her fight.
No, Mike, you got to say it right.
What?
I'll pay you. I love you.
I'll pay you. I love you, Mercedes. You're a blessing to my company. So speaking of AEW, we'll move on to this next one.
You see what I got to deal with.
Hey, man. Per Fightful Select, those spoken to in AEW believe that Mariah May is in a contract year. So Mariah May, it looks like her deal's going to expire in the summer. Do you think she's going to re-sign with AEW? Do we see a possibly WWE bound? I know Mina Shirakawa is going to be coming to the company very, very soon and officially signing with AEW.
Is there a way to zoom in on her?
Yeah, Mariah May. Oh, yeah, I got you, man. I got you. Hold on.
Oh, he's got you.
I was about to say, wait a minute.
Get it closer. Give me a fork and knife. I need a fork. Time to eat, baby.
Okay. So, Eddie.
I'm going to tell Naya, ooh.
You in the bathwater? Okay, yeah. So
bottle that shit. Bottle the bathwater.
I'll zoom it in. I will zoom that.
That's going to be his drink with his meal.
That's right.
All right. I'll edit that. I'll edit that out and I'll zoom it. God damn you. Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Amir.
I'm going to be honest. I've not had a lot of chance to.
Damn. Hold on. Wait a minute. This man put Nia Jax.
Don't be talking about my girl like that, man. Don't be talking about my girl.
She's incredible. I've not had a lot of chance to see Mariah May. She looks incredible. I've seen some highlights. When I have watched TNA, or most recently when I was most recently watching AEW, I was very focused on Toni Storm. I think that her character was really she was doing incredible at the time. And I need a chance to really go do a deep dive on Mariah May. So really my question is, because, when people are in a contract year, they start to, pull out all the stops because they need people that's the time you have to really show your value. So maybe her best is yet to come. But for a guy like me who hasn't seen much of her, where would you direct me? What's her best match?
Probably Toni Storm last year at All In. Is anything Toni Storm wise, and recently the Hollywood ending that we just had back in AEW Revolution. I would say go watch the All In match from last year and watch the Hollywood ending match.
I say there are a few of them when she was in Stardom.
Yeah,
where in Stardom you could do pretty much your heavy hitting, hard hitting. That strong style, Shinsuke Nakamura, type of stuff. And just look her up on YouTube. Find some of her stuff over in Stardom. I mean, she's really, really good if you let her off her leash. No pun intended, but I mean, if you let her go in a match, she's really, really good. She's excellent. Megan Bayne is another one that I would tell you to go watch.
She's facing Megan Bayne at Dynasty for the AEW Women's World Championship, which is going to be a good match.
Not Mariah, but
Toni Storm.
Okay.
I would say watch Camille, but she can't.
Oh man, he took the shot already. Yes,
I'll pay you.
I'll pay you, Camille. I love you. But Dan, you want to comment on Mariah May? What do you think? WWE bound, or she's going to resign with AEW because her girl Mina Shirakawa?
I think she's going to be somebody that there's going to be a bidding war for her. There's tremendous upside with her, and with them being independent contractors, like you really have to go in a bit your business for yourself, and you're your own billboard. Like show them what you're worth, and. I want to bring up an interview. I think it was with Chris Van Vliet that MJF did. He was referencing specifically the Cena heel turn, but I think it applies here. He said that if you're somebody that says you don't watch the other program, you're either a liar or you're not a student of the game. I guarantee you, Mariah May is on everybody's roster. Guarantee you Uncle Paul has her on the short list.
No,
and you know what?
I don't.
Good for her.
Here's the thing.
Get that money.
Here's the thing. Where do you put her?
WWE.
And that's an honest question, because you look at where NXT is at. I understand that you have room on the main roster, but what are you going to have? 3 blonde women on SmackDown?
I'd put her on TNA. Go to the knockouts.
Here's the problem. Here's a problem that I don't think a lot of people are really doing a deep dive. If you look at a lot of the people on the main roster for the women, a lot of them are almost to the point where they're going to stop. Yes. Think about it. Natalya, she's not wrestling nearly as much as she used to.
True.
Charlotte Flair is getting close to 40.
True.
Yep.
Becky Lynch is supposed to be coming back, but for how long?
True.
I'm telling you, we are getting to the point where, some of them, especially the ones that are married, have even mentioned wanting families. Rhea has mentioned wanting a family. Now, you're going to have people from NXT that are going to be coming up. You got to replace them. Am I saying that, Mariah would be in NXT for very long? No. A couple months, maybe. I mean, how long was Drew McIntyre in NXT for? Under a year.
Under a year. 2007.
A fart in the wind?
A fart in the wind, yeah. Yes. But
a fart and I'll pay you!
I'll pay you! Speaking of I'll pay you. So 3 things on the AEW side, and then we'll get into some WWE and some more, and one that will make Amir go nuts. But we'll get to that.
He needs a haircut.
So Tony Khan.
Amir? Yeah, Amir, you need a haircut.
No. Tony needs a haircut.
I know what you meant.
So 3 things from AEW. Tony Khan, we'll start with you first, because I'll pay you.
Don't hinder gender down there.
Don't hinder the gender, oh my God. So Tony Khan, we're going to have a milestone, such as the 5th anniversary of AEW and all this stuff. But according to the Wrestling Observer on April 16th, AEW Dynamite Spring Breakthrough will be the 289th episode of the show and will set the record most prime time episodes of any professional wrestling program on Turner Sports. 288 episodes of WCW Nitro aired from 1995 until the promotion ended in 2001, meaning Dynamite will officially surpass the former Monday Night Juggernaut in total prime time episodes. Spring Breakthrough will take place from MGM Music Hall at Fenway in Boston, Massachusetts, with shows scheduled for 2 straight nights at the venue, with AEW Collision taping the day after Dynamite. So Tony, with everything that he's got going on in his company, from the viewerships tanking, from the attendances and whatnot, the biggest thing we have to do now is troll Eric Bischoff to the fact that we surpassed you. Ha 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 ha! Eric, go fuck yourself. Ah! So that's the focus of what we're doing now. And the problem is, it's not even the biggest flex. Like, TNA has lasted longer than WCW. Ring of Honor, which Tony Khan has since bought, has lasted longer than WCW. Like, Tony, this is not the biggest flex that you think it is. Just so you can stick it to Eric doesn't mean like it's the biggest flex on the entire face of the earth. So I will start with
GCW has lasted longer than AEW.
Hey, so Paul Morales.
I'll tell you one better.
Yeah.
JCW. The ICP's wrestling promotion has lasted longer than AEW. Sit down, shut the fuck up. Nobody gives a rat's ass.
This is for the juggalos and the juggalettes. Fuck this shit. Superhuman. Now, Paul Morales, go ahead.
You not try this at home, and I hope you like it.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. So, Paul Morales, hit it. What are your thoughts?
I got nothing.
You got nothing?
I got nothing. I mean, it's the worst fucking try and flex on. You haven't even beaten WWE in 93 weeks.
Right.
The key word there is 93, because you haven't beaten them 1 week, let alone 93. That's all I gotta say. You ain't beaten nobody. Yeah, you could have the longest thing on Turner Sports, but I hate to tell you, but WCW was not on Turner Sports. It was on Turner TV, but it wasn't on Turner Sports. It wasn't even part of Turner Sports. Turner Broadcasting System was what it was part of. So go ahead and flex all you want.
Go ahead, Amir. Now, you've done the retro rewind with both Paul and Moses talking a lot about WCW. So what are your thoughts on this with Eric, with Tony trying to flex on Eric?
I created the retro rewind. I didn't just do it. I know
Hold on. Mic drop.
This motherfucker Moses Marquez continues to show. He changes the logo, some cheap imitation, but you can't fuck with it.
Hey, hold on. That was my logo. Don't hate on my logo. God damn it.
You created that logo?
Yeah, I was. Yeah,
Let me tell you something about that logo.
Let me tell you something, bitch.
The logo was beautiful. I'm really just.
Wait a minute, what are we having a throwback here? With the logo's beautiful, Evolution's fucking beautiful, bro. Shout out to Chris Manal.
Walk it back, baby. But look, when I hear that stat that AEW has been around, will have been around longer than WCW,
yeah,
I don't think to myself, what an accomplishment for AEW. I instead think, damn, how fast did WCW fizzle? Like, I didn't realize that WCW went out so quickly. So really, it doesn't even have the intended effect. And I may be one of the people, maybe I'm the only guy. I love Tony Khan. I love AEW. I support them. I think that they are. I like them a lot in the beginning. I'm not saying that everything is good now. I'm saying in the beginning, I was at those Double or Nothing shows. I was at Rampage and Dynamite and all that stuff, and it was good stuff in the beginning. I think it's odd that he has chosen to be shitty when he could have been great. I don't get that part of it. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm not surprised that he would tout this, because literally anybody would. I mean, I know it's just good business to tout this, because you got to throw something back at the haters who are pointing at the obvious. Not even haters, but like people who are like, hey, this is going wrong and that's going wrong. You got to throw something out on your end that looks like a positive. So I'm not surprised by this. I would expect nothing less. But I would hope that he would get his head out of his ass and get his head out of the pile of that China on his desk, and that China White, and maybe
the booger
have
sugar?
production meetings.
Exactly. We gotta put you gotta put Dave Chappelle right here going.
Yeah, that will be in here in this portion of the show. But to go on Amir's point, he's absolutely right, because Tony listens to people like this dingus we're about to talk about, the 60-year-old man-child with the dirty office, better known as Dave Meltzer, and he listens to people. We're doing it for the sickos. He listens to the
Dave, I'll pay you. Please praise my show and all I do.
So much, please. So the fact of the matter is, he only focuses on. He doesn't care about continuity and story and stop and start. He just cares about putting on the bangers, baby. So it's one of those things where. This is where Dave comes into it, because Dave Meltzer, this is from the Meltzer Says What Twitter account, which is hilarious because it just posts all the bullshit and stupid things that Dave Meltzer says. This is from Meltzer Said What on Twitter, and they say, and I quote, "People often ask me whether I think Dynamite Dave Meltzer is on the AEW payroll, and my response is always the same. The scarier answer is if he's not on the payroll, that means this is just his natural bias as a journalist." So here is 2 Dave Meltzer tweets. He responds to Douglas McDougal, saying, "Anything to get that AEW pop, huh? Keep up the good work, Dave. It's really been showing lately." And he writes, "This wasn't about AEW. You have AEW derangement syndrome." And here's the other one that we have. He responds to George_1615. "Dave, do you actually do any work? Anytime I open the app, you're always going back and forth with people hours of the day. This admittedly is an atypical week, but it was 2 weeks ago. God damn it, Dave." Like, for the love of God. Oh my goodness, AEW derangement syndrome, going back and forth with people. When we point the facts straight up and down like 6 o'clock to you, Amir could say it, I say it, Paul says it, Dan says it every week. The problem is he's stop and start with these storylines. Nothing makes effing sense. We have something that's on TV like the Death Riders, a.k.a. Neo Mox and the rest of the Romper Stomper gang, doing their bullshittery on each and every one of these shows. They're tired of this. We're tired of just a lot of the things that are with AEW that encompasses and kind of devalues what we used to have as that alternative, because WWE was in the shitter and the absolute drizzling shits, and it made us want to rip our hair out. So now we have WWE in the better position than they were, and we have AEW going in the direction that it is because of Tony just being, and I'll pay you. So with that being said, I'll start with Daniel Crimmins on this. Your thoughts on these tweets that represent Dave Meltzer and the AEW bias?
What a fucking putz. You know what? I'm just gonna fucking say it.
Go ahead.
AEW derangement syndrome. Who the fuck are you? A Red Hat supporter?
Oh Jesus!
Seriously? Get the fuck out of here. See, Dave, this is why people don't fucking take you seriously. It's because of bullshit tweets like that. The problem is that, you know, you've all seen the movie Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Yes.
The third one.
Yeah.
Think of the scene where the East India Trading Company, you think they're staring, the Armada staring down, the pirates, and the Flying Dutchman's approaching, the Black Pearl's approaching, and then both ships turn around on to the East India Trading Company, and the guy kind of looks shocked and he just says, it was just good business. See, Tony's at the point now where he's throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. As I have said almost every fucking week on this show, because it's almost a goddamn broken record, I'm going to record it so Mike can just put in the soundbite. Tony, you have got one of the greatest rosters in all of wrestling. You have such amazing talent, and it's not working. Having great matches is only going to get you so far. And another thing, Tony, make a fucking halfway decent video game, you ruddy bastard.
I second that.
That video game that they put out was shit.
I would third that, but I ain't never played it.
Me either.
I don't want to.
I know. Don't worry. I didn't need to. I watched walkthroughs.
I got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Why are you allowing yourselves to be worked by Dave Meltzer?
Exactly.
Dave Meltzer. Can I tell you something about Dave Meltzer?
Okay.
He's a punk bitch.
In the age of making money on social media, it is not about authenticity. It is about engagement. Okay. So at the end of the day, this guy goes, Dave, do you actually do any work? Yeah, he's working you right now, motherfucker. Every time he gets you to respond to the tweet, he made more money.
That's very true. That is very true.
Why would he present an authentic take that people are going to agree with? Because if people look at your tweet and go, I agree with that, then we're done. But if you piss them off and they keep talking about it and keep tweeting it, that's more money. Just look at it from that perspective. This is business, baby.
All right. I like the doctor's business side of things. Yes. Okay.
Damn it. I hate when the doctor makes sense. God damn it.
Damn it.
I'm sorry, but doctor's out of network.
That is true. Oh! Okay, so someone who did make sense and people got pissed the fuck off at is the one, the only Rob Van Dam, the whole effing show. So Rob Van Dam went on his one-of-a-kind podcast, and he said, and I quote, the more AEW does stuff like the Spike Spot and Mox versus Cope, the more he'd rather be associated with WWE than AEW. So Rob says, that's not wrestling to me. Obviously, it's sacrificing a lot for the business. I mean, that could be said about it. But the more AEW has been doing stuff like that, the more personally I feel like I would rather be associated with WWE than AEW. A couple of years ago, it was like, man, they're growing. They're trying things to get up there. And then there's a feel that the inmates are running the prison, which Rob has a very good take. And people went after poor Rob Van Dam's ass. So he wrote on Twitter, although it's never would have happened in real life, and I've always done interviews stating my dislike for the style, many idiots seem to have an image of ECW TV champ RVD being about thumbtacks, staple guns, and glass. It's really weird. And he responds back to a fan who says, if you take the cash, you're being a hypocrite. Sorry, my dude. You made your name in ECW. Maybe you didn't like the stuff that went on, but you could have left, not done it. Instead, for content, you complain about the people doing it now. It's just not a good look. So, Mr. Nobody, answer this. You pay me to paint your house, and I do even though I'm sweating my balls off, I'm dirty, and mosquitoes are biting me, and you keep talking to me while I'm working, and you have very bad breath. When someone asks me later about painting your house, and I say, yeah, I didn't enjoy it, and I still don't enjoy painting houses, you think that's a hypocrite, correct? So, Rob Van Dam went on one, and just the fact that... I mean,
it looked like he literally started answering everybody.
Yeah.
It was like he was... There's a thing that fucking Bully Ray doesn't like to do. Bully Ray hates to get into confrontations with stupid people on Twitter. Dave LaGreca is the exact same way. I listen to Busted Open. Sorry if I start mentioning people on Busted Open. It's a thing I do. Dave LaGreca says he gets fucking ulcers just reading shit, that half of the shit that people don't understand. Now, granted, Dave is a wrestling fan. Bully gives his take from a wrestler's point of view. There's a difference. and people shit on both of them for their views. Rob is just coming at them and be just like, he didn't give a shit. He said, I have a counterpoint for everything that everybody was saying. And he literally took everybody's tweet or anybody that made a comment, he reposted it and answered what the hell they were what they were talking about. And he must have been smoking a blunt, because dude was on a good one.
Well, I mean, when he's talking about not liking Janice, which is true, when they did that thing with him and Abyss and he's laid out bloody with Janice on him to write him off of television, he didn't like that stuff. And I can honestly say throughout his ECW tenure and his work in WWE and TNA and everywhere, I never saw Rob get nails stuck in his back. I've seen him do the Van Daminator and the Van Terminator and use chairs and tables and ladders or whatever. I've never seen anything Rob Van Dam do anything to that extreme, pun intended. So I will actually go to the doctor on this. Mr. Doc, give us your thoughts, Doc.
I think here's a really important question to ask in these scenarios.
Yes.
Rob Van Dam, what's in it for you? Because at the end of the day, when you talk shit on a spot like that, and I know he doesn't like it, but Mox does like it, okay? I've seen Mox, when his alarm goes off in the morning and he rolls over to turn it off, he's already bleeding. That's his style. That's his style. This guy gets busted open in his sleep. That's how he rolls. But if you're Rob Van Dam and you have a huge following, right? And you criticize this guy openly, another guy in the business who's trying to feed his family, and then you go and you criticize it to the extent that you say, I don't want to be associated with this company because they allowed this. Why would you hate on another guy who wrestles this way and is making money for his family? And when you were doing the Van Terminator and all the things that you were doing, and the old guys looked at your style of wrestling and said it was bullshit, did you go, oh yeah, it makes sense? Or did you go like, what the fuck is their problem, man? Like, just let people do what they're doing. But at the very least, if you're in the business, don't try to take money out of another man's mouth. What happened to the brotherhood? You know what I mean?
I completely feel you on that. I think looking at the spot in itself, I thought it was unnecessary because I look at the storytelling side of things. These motherfuckers only had 2 matches, that being Cope and Mox. I mean, if you look at the storytelling from when we have with Abyss, who's another one who's done extreme spots, you look at even the Judas Messias storyline that ended in Barbed Wire Massacre. That was such a bloody feud back in TNA that it had to end that way, because when you think of 2 of iconic Abyss matches, it's the Monsters Ball, and right next to that is the Barbed Wire Massacre. But there was reasoning for it to get to that violent state. This was just, hey, man, they said our match was bad at the pay-per-view. I know what we're going to stick it to them, buddy. So brutal. It's that type of mindset. Brutal, absolutely.
What about Will Ospreay? Will Ospreay does an interview with Chris Van Vliet, CBV, and he says, hey, I did a dangerous spot, didn't I, bro? and Chris Jericho was worried about me. So Chris Jericho went on Twitter and talked shit about me. No, he didn't say that. He said Chris Jericho gave me a call.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho gave me a call privately, expressed some concern, and gave me some advice. And if you're Rob Van Dam, when did picking up the phone stop being an option?
Very true. Very true. The doctor making some... No, dude, you're absolutely right.
I mean, you know what? This is why we can't have the doctor on here, because he makes too much damn sense.
He's absolutely right.
I know he's right, man. What are you talking about? I know he's right. I'm just saying, man. I ain't trying to have somebody up on here trying to show me up.
Yeah, with the Will Ospreay spot with Kyle Fletcher, it made sense because they were at a point where it got to the overall level, and I understand where he's coming from, and the veterans checking on him. So, he's got a point, as we all do, but Daniel Crimmins, I'm going to add to your point. What are your thoughts on Rob Van Dam chin-checking some motherfuckers?
Where the fuck was he when Chris Jericho wrestled Nick freaking Gage?
The pizza cutter?
Pizza cutter.
Yeah, the pizza cutter.
Where was he? Are you angling for a call back there, Robbie boy?
Hey, DC. I'm hearing... Hey, man, when I heard that you was coming out of retirement, I'm not kidding, my dick jumped. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Wow.
Y'all's dicks didn't jump when you heard DC was coming out?
To quote the great George Takei, oh my.
I that young man that you're gonna go against,
Blade
Blade Rodriguez. Okay, Blade. I've seen some of his stuff. Is this the guy that's the TV champion right
I
now?
guess so.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So this guy's a TV champion. He's young, DC. He's just putting it together. You can see that there's some talent there. It's going to develop over time.
He's still wet behind the ears.
He is.
Yeah.
He's still very green.
Let me put it to you this way. If Boyd's going to do this, he's got to learn.
You gonna learn today.
I do not believe in sympathy for anybody.
I tried to help you, Blade.
No.
Blade, I tried to talk to
I will say this. Boyd's going to wish I had stayed retired.
Blade, this motherfucker's crazy. Why would you do this? You're having a good time right now. Don't do it, man.
You didn't just let me out, because once this is open, there's one more person.
Oh, okay. Oh man. I mean, and Dan, I can say it from experience. You've taken him on Amir. I've taken him on twice. Like Dan is one of the most very versatile and verbal assassinators out there.
Amir hasn't taken on the new me.
Hey,
this is very true.
Let me tell you, at the risk of putting my position in jeopardy, the way this man did Dazzy Lee. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Killed that man. Boot on his neck. I was like, DC, that's how you shoot. Oh my god, I love it.
Damn. So
twice.
So check out Daniel, who will also be in action in Promomania against Blade Rodriguez and his Domo Arigato Mr. Roboto type of promos. So check out.
If I could be serious for one moment, I am from Calgary, Alberta.
And I don't even mean to shit on Blade, but it's just like, you ever notice his promos are like, I'm going to enter the arena in this future presentation, and I will do this and I will do that. I will come for you in the battle of the arenas. I'm like, what is this motherfucking Shakespeare?
Hold on, Doc. Well, you got to come on here more often because this shit's funny.
It is.
You ignite shit that I don't even ignite, but you know what? Hey, I am here for it. Let me get my popcorn next time, and let me get another drink up in me. You know what I'm saying?
Edmund, save this clip because Blade's putting the pieces together right now. But Blade's not going to forget this. If he hears about this, he's not letting this one go. And when he's in full form, he's going to find Michael Larkin and kick Michael Larkin's ass. What did the five fingers say to the face?
I think I can hold my own. I've proven that. I got the Blade Rodriguez and his Richie Cunningham looking ass. Anyway, I digress. So,
Gene Dillikers, buddy.
Oh boy, I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. Anyway, no, I digress. So we'll go to. Speaking of making my dick jump, we'll talk about Maple Leaf Wrestling because of whoever's on this card. And oh boy, we're gonna have the images here. So Maple Leaf Wrestling has announced their next pay-per-view show, Northern Rising, which will be held at the Mattamy Athletic Center, the former Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto, on May 10th. The event will feature the crowning of the inaugural MLP Women's Canadian Champion as Kylie Ray takes on Giselle Shaw, which is going to be amazing. And we will see a 20-man championship gauntlet match to crown a new MLP Men's Canadian Champion. Some of the names already mentioned are the Nomad, Tom Pestock, formerly known as Baron Corbin, the French-Canadian Frankensteiner, PCO, the Complete, Matt Cardona, and wait for it, ladies and gentlemen, the Maharaja, Raj Desi, formerly known as Jinder Mahal. So, yeah, Maple Leaf Wrestling. Yes.
We're going to hinder on the gender, you know what I'm saying?
So you will acknowledge your tribal chief, Jinder Mahal.
Maharaja. All right, Amir, talk about it. What do you think?
Okay, here's what I think. When I hear that card, like those four people in that match, my thought is that's a shit match. But then I think, wait, hang on. Then I think, wait a minute, that's a shit match in WWE. Outside of WWE, these guys may have a whole, but like PCO, I've seen PCO.
He's like 11,000 years old.
How's he alive though? Because some of the shit that he does,
he's
this
not
motherfucker,
human.
He's
not human.
He's not human.
Yeah. So I think the idea is that anybody watching this, don't let the WWE version. Look, WWE handcuffs people because they're in a box of sports entertainment. But these men are professional wrestlers, and with the cuffs off, and the ability to explore and have access to a wide variety skill set and move set, they could put on a match that's going to be very surprising, very entertaining. Could be the match of the night. So I'm looking forward to it.
That's
Me
right.
too. Me too. I mean, and you have Kylie Ray and Giselle Shaw. Giselle Shaw, who's amazing, and Kylie Ray, who is now in the ID program for WWE, and she's on Evolve now. Like, it's great to see her back in action, and with someone like a Giselle Shaw, who I'd love to see in either NXT or wherever the hell she goes. She's another one. So this card right now is stacked. And I got to say, guys, Scott D'Amore is doing a lot of great work with his shows, getting more on as a part of the announce team.
And he's got Mauro Ranello as his announcer.
Yep.
Mamma Mia!
Mamma Mia! Oh, my goodness. But
maybe we'll get an appearance from John Layfield.
Oh, hey now. Just going around clothesline.
Whoa.
I just want to see Mauro just give him a clothesline from hell.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, we'll go to some WWE news now. So as we all know, Lillian Garcia is not going to be on SmackDown anymore, but I believe she's going to be doing what, Saturday night's main events, right?
Yes, she is going to be doing Saturday night's main events going forward, and she's still with the company, so she's still getting paid.
So I'll pay you while she is off SmackDown now. The new SmackDown ring announcer, we heard him this past week on SmackDown, is Mark.
He ain't good.
All right, hold on. Okay, wait for it. Hold on. Mark Shudock, now Mark Nash. So his credentials: he has hosted and announced Top Rank Boxing on ESPN. He is the VP of Entertainment and arena host for the Vegas Golden Knights and an in-arena host for the Las Vegas Raiders. I was just going to announce that, Paul Morales. So go ahead, take it away. Your thoughts on his first night in SmackDown. Go ahead.
No, he's. I don't want to knock him too much. I mean, because again, he's still getting into the WWE, but the way he announced Cody Rhodes, I was just like, I wasn't thrilled with it because you know how Samantha did it. You even know how Lillian did it. Hell, you knew how freaking Aisha did it, or Alicia. You know how she did.
What is this? ABC, another bad creation?
Yeah, and it's just like, all right, cool, but you gotta have that factor into it.
Oomph.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have that factor into it. If you don't got it, then you just like whatever.
If you ain't got no money, take your broke ass home. So with that,
y'all motherfuckers remember Mike Adamle?
Oh God, Mike Adamle was terrible.
Jeff Harvey.
This is Jeff Harvey. You're making me crazy, Kofi. So, Amir, this is now Mark Nash, the new one who's replacing Lillian Garcia. So I'll get your thoughts on the credentials that we just mentioned and your overall thoughts on Mark Nash now.
That's how flabbergasting it is to see this man on the screen.
I mean, don't get me wrong, handsome guy, but dude, I expected more from him. I don't know why. I just thought I expected a bigger voice. What the hell is his name? Chimmel?
Oh, Tony Chimmel.
Tony Chimmel. I was expecting something like that, but I didn't get that. So I get it. It's his first night. They were in London, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe next time around, next Friday, we may get. They're in Chicago, so. Hopefully he brings his balls this time and, con huevos, this time and, announces better.
True. I mean,
I'm waiting for him to say Chelsea Green. I mean, I didn't get to hear that the last time he came out, or she came out, but.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not bad. He's not good, but he's getting there. So time will tell with what we have with Mr. Mark Nash going into WWE.
All right. He's back, but let me tell you something. Mark Nash looks like short-haired Jericho had a baby with David Blaine. He also, in that picture, he also looks like he's holding in a fart.
What's the name of the guy that used to host The Bachelor?
Oh God, I forgot his name.
That's who he looks like.
Oh God, that's gonna bug me. But yeah, I know who you're talking about. Chris something or other. Chris Hardwig. Oh, Chris Hardwig, the dude from Single Out.
That's the guy that who he looks like.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Did you see Naomi's vignette?
Amir?
No. Last thing I saw on her was this is maybe a few weeks ago where she was, I saw some guy say that what happened with her and Bianca, that segment where she was trying to explain her actions and Bianca wasn't having it. He said it was the greatest women's segment of all time. And I was like, what? So I went to go look at it. And I got to say, fuck Travis.
I swear, it was like a Tyler Perry movie. It was like listening to them was like a Tyler Perry movie, and it was good. I liked it. I thoroughly liked it.
The greatest women's segment of all time.
I don't know about that. We'll just go into it now. All right, so Naomi cut the promo, and I'm going to say this right now. It's not the greatest promo I've ever heard, but for Naomi with Proceed with Caution and how we're getting towards her versus Jade Cargill, really her just opening up more as the heel. Like when she was a heel with Team Bad with Tamina and Sasha Banks in 2015, that was cool when she first turned heel. But this is just her on another level. This woman cried, and she just went all out. The tears coming from her eyes. I'm tired of being nice. This woman went in, and I will say this. If you've not checked out her promo, go ahead. But we'll start it like this. Here is what Denise Salcedo and Thunder Rosa had to say about Trinity's actions and the thought of the promo and everything that went into it.
Thunder, how have you felt about the entire story and what you're seeing right now from Naomi?
Let's put it this way. I don't think she was psychotic. I think this is what happens when you push someone who has been giving so much to the business, and this person keeps being pushed aside because somebody else who's, I don't know, maybe looks better, has more hype or whatever, needs to get an opportunity. This happens pretty often in professional wrestling. And the fact that she was able to, get her lick and make things right the way that she wanted to make things right, she's just stating her case. She's been with WWE for too long. And I love there was a line in where it's like, who inspired you to be who you are right now? It wasn't Jade. It wasn't Jade. It was her. She's one of the very few African-American women that have been in WWE for this long, that has gone through thick and thin in the women's division, that has not gotten her flowers for decades. Naomi has a reason to be the Naomi that she is now. You have to proceed with caution because she is done with the bullshit. She's done, and she is not going to hide it anymore. And yes, she had to sacrifice her relationship with Bianca. And sometimes that happens when you stand up for yourself. And somebody had to get hurt, and that was Jade.
Beautifully and eloquently said on the part of Thunder Rosa. So
look, man, Trinity was great in TNA. She went over there, she revamped herself, she got better. She did a little bit more promo work there. She had a little bit more of an extended time to be able. Hey, what's up, man?
Hi.
Hey,
I wanted to say hi.
Hello.
Look at his Pokemon jacket, bro. This dude is too fly.
Man, I need that jacket now, man.
Hey.
Dang, bro, you tall now. You gonna be taller than your daddy?
No.
Maybe. We'll
Maybe.
Maybe.
Sorry about that.
No worries, man. Dang, dude, he's sprouted.
Yeah, man, he's got taller, dude.
He's got big, bro. He's 9 now. He's killing it. He's doing his thing. I love him.
Yeah, dude. Damn. That fatherhood, I'm telling you, blink of an eye, man. All of a sudden, they sprouting up like weeds.
Exactly.
And damn, Kaysen.
Damn you, Kaysen. But yes, I agree wholeheartedly with Paul. This is some of Naomi's best work, and we got the story of her and Jade. If there's anyone also to help her out and really elevate Jade, it's Naomi. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
And I think you put Jade with two of the best people. You put her with Bianca, and you put her with Naomi. What she's doing is that she's elevating Jade. And that's what you want from your veterans. That's what you want. You want them to go out there and elevate somebody else. And as green as she was over in AEW, she's come to WWE and has pretty much elevated herself, made her that star that Tony never saw her as.
And speaking of stars, we'll add it to this one. So Cody and John Cena had another in-ring promo this week, and I gotta say, John Cena with the whole thing just talking about, I'm going to ruin wrestling. I'm going to become the 17-time champion. You're not going to talk about Ric Flair anymore. You're going to talk about John Cena. I got to say, I've been enjoying these last 2 weeks. The third week is coming upon us over there in London next week for their face-to-face before we go back to the States. We'll start with the doctor on this one. Amir, what were your thoughts on these John Cena and Cody Rhodes, these last two segments, these in-ring segments, man?
John Cena's bad at being a bad guy. He's trying so hard, and it doesn't come off as authentic. And by the way, nobody's sitting around talking about Ric Flair like that. But the Dead Man over on his podcast made it clear that there's several. Mike, I know you know this. There's several championships of Ric Flair that they're not even counting.
Yeah, so, 20 plus, man.
Yeah, so they talked about times where Ric Flair had to drop the title in a certain country, maybe it was Mexico, and then win it back the next night. Puerto Rico. If he didn't drop the title there, he legit wasn't going to make it out of there alive. But then when you win it back, that's another reign. So the reality of it is, WWE. Oh my God, I'm going to sound like Mandy Rose. They could try to act like Ric Flair hasn't been champion 20 some odd times, and by Cena getting the 17th, that he's the number one guy. But obviously, it's not true. If you know, you know. And I think if you're John Cena, you're cosplaying as a bad guy. Like you're not like, man, I like real bad guys. Like, you know what I mean? This guy's
and you know what's funny is that somebody actually took a close up of John when he did the first promo. Yeah. When he all of a sudden came out heel, and he was crying, dog. You could see the tears in his eyes, like he's welling up, trying to be that bad guy. I don't think he should have turned, that bad against the crowd. But what he's doing is that he's literally all the years of people telling him he's such a horrible wrestler. He only has so many moves. He's this, or he keeps people down, or he's that golden ticket, that he always has to come back and do whatever he wants. That's literally what he's pushing on. I get it. He didn't have to go after that kid.
Bro,
he could have just specifically went after the adults and then just said, yeah, you give your kids my merchandise instead of going after the kids. Cause I know that hurt him.
John Cena. Most of us saw John Cena's original heel turn. Not this one where he's pretending to be a bad guy. The one where he really was a bad guy in Total Divas. I don't know if you guys ever watched that show. That motherfucker.
House rules, baby. House rules.
Yeah, that guy. If you bring Total Divas John Cena, like the actual John Felix Anthony Cena, who's like, hey, be careful how you place things in my house. Like
that dog bit me. He's got to go.
That was a bad guy. This guy is pretend. Bring the real you to screen. Just be your normal dickhead self. The guy who pointed out The Rock having a promo on his wrist. Bring that motherfucker. Then I'll believe it.
Oh no, I want the one where he just buried freaking Roman Reigns. That's right. The one I want.
I do this better part-time.
I do this better part-time than you do full-time. That's why I'm here.
First of all, he just absolutely, Amir, I think one of his other famous ones that Amir likes, and Amir, we've talked about this on Max, besides that one where he's like, congratulations, Miz, you have the ability, you get to face John Cena. Now the bad news is you got to face me from 2009 going into the Bash. Yeah, man.
Exactly.
Oh, now, so Daniel,
we've seen the real heel John Cena, and this isn't it. Now that he's actually an official heel, he's cosplaying. This motherfucker's been bad the whole time.
He's literally Fast and Furious John Cena right now. He's literally that character is what he's trying to portray.
Here's the problem.
Trying to act like a heel when he's not really a natural heel. If you go back to those promos that we just mentioned, dude would be killing it. Dude could just bury people verbally.
Yes.
And he could bring up Stardust. He could bring up all the trash freaking things about Cody Rhodes. And what is Cody going to come back with? Nothing.
You whiny bitch.
Calling him a whiny bitch. I want more from this. This was the same thing I had told Denise Salcedo this like last year about the lead up to WrestleMania, because what we had was Cody and The Rock going back and forth, and Roman Reigns was an afterthought in the whole scenario. So the lead up was literally The Rock and Cody going back and forth, and then that was it.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. His midget
look who decided to
all
come
of a
back.
sudden decided to come back.
My bad. Okay, so
The same guy that kicked me out twice.
well, you needed to fix yourself, man. Get yourself situated.
You kicked me out, Michael.
You put me out. I'll never be your beast of burden. Rolling Stone.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and keep going, man.
You said that he didn't want us to see the midget, the little midget.
Yeah, he had the midget hose over there. That's why she's under the desk. She's under his desk.
Camera off so we couldn't see her scurry away.
Yeah, that's why he turned off the camera so he could open the door and let her walk out.
Get your little ass out of here.
It's late on a Saturday. You know, you got to make it work when you can.
Of course. Okay. And I'll tell you what we did make work, as we all want to see John and Cody have more of that oomph. We did get some oomph from CM. Good.
Here's the problem, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't think Cena believes it.
Well, no, it's tough.
He doesn't believe.
That's exactly what this dude just said. He don't. He's fake. Look, the doc said it. You know what? He's literally acting like
he's a cosplay heel.
Hard cosplaying as a freaking heel.
Mike and I have discussed this in the past. If you want to see real heart in promos, look at some of Mick Foley's promos from ECW as Cactus Jack.
Kane Dewey.
Look at his promo from the week after the Monday Night Raw, 1 week after WrestleMania 14, the week after the cage match.
Yes.
With just the raw emotion. Now, Cena could have said, gone by said the same thing as what he was saying. But here's the thing, he didn't really believe it. What they should have done, and Mike and I have talked about this,
yes,
for maximum effect, have Cena come out how he regularly dresses. The nice suits. Have him come out, not to new theme, not to the same theme, have him come out to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
No Titantron video, no music. Have him just walk out to the ring dressed to the nine.
Just a spotlight on him, and that's it. Walking to the ring, dark clothes. I you know what? I think Bray Wyatt actually, their match at WrestleMania a couple years back, he in the COVID era, he literally put John Cena in this box and literally told him, this is exactly what you're going to do. We got the teases for NWO. I would have loved that as opposed to what we're getting now. It needed to be a change. It needed to be something different. And we didn't get that. And it's just, as this man said, cosplay freaking heel.
It should have happened at the Rumble.
Oh, agreed. And I mean, when you look at John Cena's heel turn, it should have happened after WrestleMania 28. We'll say that till we're blue in the face. But I mean, this, in a reiteration, is just like you guys mentioned, doesn't believe it, but it's kind of like 22 years too late. It should have happened 10 years, even 10 years too late, 13 years.
The Roman Reigns turn. The Roman Reigns turn. It should have happened 10 years earlier against The Rock.
Yep.
All that time ago. And they could have had that moment then, rather than having to, we need to have this moment. We need to have this. No.
Thank you, Vince.
You could have did that then.
Thank you, Vince.
Thanks, Vince.
We can also thank Triple H now and thank CM Punk, because finally, after 11 years now, we saw the closing of SmackDown. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins had the contract signing. Seth Rollins was about to blow a gasket. It was done so well. We still don't know what the favor is yet, but what we do know is that CM Punk is going to finally be main eventing WrestleMania, as night one will be closed by CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins in the triple threat. Damn straight, rightfully deserved. And I will start with Paul on this one. Your thoughts?
It had to happen. It had to happen. You didn't bring him back just to be a had to be a co-main eventer to not close out a show. You didn't bring him back for that. Yeah, he wanted to win a title, but you weren't going to have him co-main event night, as he put it, night number 4 of a buy one get one free. You know, pay-per-view spectacular. You know, whatever. But you gave him what he wanted, and you gave it to him on a silver platter. And the person who delivered the message to him was none other than Paul Heyman. Another great Paul in this world. Okay. Amir, what did you think?
I think
fuck Michael Larkin. Yeah, I know. I think that too.
I thought there was another guy he was supposed to say that about.
Oh yeah.
No. Wait, I'll tell you something real quick, DC. You got to be careful. You can't give people too much life. You know, if you mention too much, you know what I mean. You got to mention them just the right amount. But yeah, the thing is, Seth Rollins. I haven't liked Seth Rollins for a long time. Everybody knows this because
he's your favorite. Don't lie.
He is so inauthentic. Like when remember when WWE was literally the worst place of all time, and then this guy Seth Rollins would be like, "Hey, Kenny Omega, when you're done in the amateur land, come over here where there's really big things happening." And I was like, "Bro, I understand like lifting up your company, but at least be authentic." And so all the hate that he's had for CM Punk, where he's like visibly upset that Punk is back, and just I don't know, man. It feels a little weird. It feels a little weird. And I'm not super interested in this match, Punk, Reigns, and Rollins. I'm not trying to sound like a Debbie Downer, but like I don't know, man. It seems like a little weird. Like Roman Reigns, after everything that's happened this year with the bloodline and all that stuff, at WrestleMania, you're fighting CM Punk and Seth Rollins, who feels like they maybe should have had like a one-on-one match. I don't know. Like, why is Reigns even in there like that?
I think the question, to answer your question, Amir, I don't think the question shouldn't be why is Reigns in there. The real question is why is Rollins in there? And I'll answer that for you. Rollins is in the match to take the pin from either Punk or Roman. One of those two is winning it. And you can't have Punk beat Roman because then Roman looks weak. You can't have Roman beat Punk because then Punk looks weak. So what do? You add in an option. Seth is somebody who can eat the pin, who can eat the submission. I see Mike's got a guest with him.
Yes, the cat. Hello, Mr. Jackson. How are you, buddy?
Sorry, Miss Jackson.
Ooh, I am for real. But no, I have to add on to Dan's point. I mean, that makes sense for the 12-year history because of the Shield, Punk and the Shield, and how everything came into fruition with them being the bodyguards. Seth and Punk have that history, the Royal Rumble history of Punk and Roman. So it makes sense. I do see Seth taking the pin, but also at the same time, too, it adds a lot of lore to it. Do I personally think we should have gotten Roman and Seth one-on-one? Yes. To end all the stuff with the Shield.
SummerSlam.
You got it. You had it with him and Drew. I don't understand why you couldn't have done that, and still had the favor there. And Roman could have did something else with The Rock if that was
the favor. Did we know what the favor was?
No, and that's what I was going to ask you guys. What do you think the favor is?
I don't know. I honestly, I'm really uncertain
because
right now.
Everybody seems to be dumbfounded as to what it is now. Not only did he ask the favor of Roman, hey, I want to be a main eventer. Okay, cool. You got that. But that wasn't the favor that he was talking about. So, but that means there's something more to this. I think, do we get a stipulation for this match? Is somebody going to get inserted into that world championship match? That's what I think.
I think here's what's going to happen, or how I would do it. I would have Roman win this. And maybe you do it then with Money in the Bank, where you could have it end kind of, a screwy finish where maybe, Punk and Roman are climbing the ladder to get the briefcase, and they both fall with it. Well, who won it? So then, of course, you have to have another match, Punk versus Roman, and then you have Heyman holding the briefcase and you have no disqualification. You have Roman going to Paul saying, "Paul, give me the briefcase." Hey, what does Heyman do? Takes the briefcase on the head, knocks out Roman. Punk hits the GTS 1, 2, 3, and becomes Mr. Money in the Bank for the third time, and ends up cashing in the very same night. Where did I get the inspiration from this? SummerSlam 1996.
Mankind of the Undertaker. Paul
Boiler Room Brawl, Mankind versus Undertaker. And it would work perfectly.
I like that. You just absolutely just gave out great months of what we get to see with that. I like that very much, Daniel. And
by the way, I want to circle back. Was I not the one, Michael, who predicted that they would start inducting matches into the Hall of Fame?
You did?
Yes, you were.
Haven't I been saying that for years, Mike?
Yes, you have. And I will say this. What we
You're welcome.
I love you guys. So one of the things I will add to this, because we mentioned the great things on the road to WrestleMania, but one of the things that we have, one of the things that we have on the road for TNA, and this will be our last thing that we're going to mention, Ethan Page, all ego with the WWE TNA relationship. Spoiler alert: at the latest TNA tapings, Ethan Page made his return, and the main event of TNA Rebellion will be a triple threat match as Joe Hendry, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. Defends the TNA Championship against the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner Frankie Kazarian and all ego Ethan Page. Now, I've been loving the WWE TNA relationship, but if you really want to do something and shock the world with this WWE TNA relationship, have Ethan Page, the former TNA guy, the North, the former tag team champ with Josh Alexander, have Ethan Page win that doggone TNA World's Heavyweight Championship.
Hey, Amir, you know where Rebellion's at this year?
Where? At your house?
Yeah, at my house in LA. Actually, they're in LA.
Me and you, right? We're going.
Yeah, we're going. We're gonna go. We're gonna get. Yeah, buddy.
I got it.
We're gonna leave Moses Marquez at home.
Yeah. I never do this, but for the first time ever, I'm gonna bring a sign.
Oh,
what? It's gonna say,
"Fuck Travis."
Yeah, man.
By the way, that's number 6 if I was counting, and I counted 6. So
the ticker is going to be down here. Y'all can see how many times
Okay.
Oh
right,
my
man.
God.
Okay, Dr. Evil.
Dr. Evil.
Somebody got to do it.
Now, so we have that match announced. We have the Hardys against the Nemeth brothers, Nick and Ryan Nemeth, for the TNA World Tag Titles. I'm excited. Rebellion's really shaping up. So we'll start with
in LA, baby.
LA.
I've never been to a TNA show. Of all the companies I've been to,
yeah,
I've never been to a TNA show.
I did a house show.
I've been to a house show at Westbury, Long Island, when TNA was there. Yep.
It was years ago. I think Angle was the champion at the time, and it was like the coolest thing.
Yeah, that's the one company I'd never been to.
I've
even done NWA.
Wow.
They did
an NWA show. So
they did autograph signings, like literally like right after the show.
I don't know. I just want to see Joe Hendry. That's all I want to see.
This was right after the Knock Knock Who's There, Braden Walker.
Oh God, that's 2011. Jesus.
And I said something to Chris to James Storm about it, and I went. I said, "Hey, I got a joke for you." And he kind of looks at me. He's like, "What?" I said, "Knock, knock." He goes, "Who's there?" And I said, "Braden Walker." And he just went like, he said, "That ain't right."
So I will.
And I met Dick Sakata.
Dick Sakata, honey.
And I will tell you, from meeting her in person, she really is the sweetest lady in the world.
I bet, dude. Oh my goodness.
I bet she is. Honey child.
Woo, Lord.
Oh, Lordy.
Hey, man. So we'll start
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. So we'll start with Amir on this.
Mike can confirm is basically Southern for
go fuck yourself. Yes. I can concurrently agree with that. So, Amir, I'll start with you. Your thoughts on Ethan Page main eventing, the NXT TNA relationship? Now we have Ethan Page back. Your thoughts?
I wasn't a TNA guy. I missed a lot of the big things. But like everybody else, my mind is blown by this partnership. And I think that I want to see more from it. You know, I want to see bigger things happening. Yeah, I think that there should be bigger moments, and I like the idea that it's not just TNA that can get the rub from WWE. They've got some great things happening, so WWE can also get the rub from them. But yeah, if Ethan, it wouldn't be the first time that somebody from a different company captured the belt of the other company.
I mean, Taz and Mike Awesome, ECW title, yeah. That one sticks
and
out.
The belt collector, Kenny Omega. I mean, he had everybody's titles, bro.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
Hardys.
so
The Hardys, yeah. The tag team expedition, Zack Ryder.
I think it would be really cool. But actually, what would blow my mind more, obviously, is if WWE allowed one of their belts to be captured by a TNA contracted star. So, you know.
And I think that'll happen sooner rather than later because I think it helps both brands. And in all honesty, it helps both companies.
Yeah, that would be super cool.
Josh Alexander helping Ethan Page win the TNA World Heavyweight title.
Hey, bring back the North. Let's go, baby.
Was Josh Alexander the one that pretended to be Daniel Bryan?
What?
That was
Who
Eric
was the?
Young.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah. First off, I told you I didn't watch it much, but yeah, Eric Young.
Eric Young. Yes.
He was in Sanity.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, when he was pretending to be their version of Dan Bryan, I fucking hated that guy.
The TNA World Heavyweight Champion 2014, yeah, when he beat Magnus. Okay, taking it back, Amir.
You mean Nick Aldis?
Nick Aldis.
Nick Aldis. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm in agreement with all of them. I'm very much excited for the relationship continuing forward and what we have coming, and especially what we have coming is more editions of the weekly review. The doctor was in the house tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Amir, we got to get you back on for another one. We really appreciate you coming on doing
the doctor of Amironomics.
We apologize for all the interruptions, all the twitches, and you know, and then of course Michael over here pushing out his midget hose. So. I apologize, but we would love to have you back, my brother. You know, I love you to death, and I appreciate and love you to death.
Yeah, I love you guys. You know what? This was fun. Obviously, I used to do a podcast all the time, and
you did?
You really?
A little bit.
Really?
You know what's so funny? Yeah. I have a couple of episodes that I never aired that I recorded with people, and I keep thinking like I should just put those out. Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe I will. Anywho, but this was really fun. Like, you guys are so much fucking fun, and I love talking shit with you all. So please expect to see me again.
Thank you, my brother.
Are you turning into Moses Marquez, just having unreleased episodes out? Is that what we're doing here, Amir? Is that
what Moses Marquez does? Or is what he does is pretends to be a promo champion when he didn't actually win it from anybody?
Ooh, damn.
Shots fired.
Oh boy!
Bang, 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 bang.
So you get to see Beer, mi hermano Cerveza, as Robert Davis calls him, against Moses Marquez, the real promo champion. That promo
Coors Light.
Alcoholic beverage.
He's in no duels at this point.
So we have a Blade going against the Shooter. We have Beer against Moses, and we have the Demoness come to caress, take your soul, put her in a hole. Chris Reed going down, coming towards Promo Mania.
Wait, what about the best match that's
I'm
going
about to get that. Amir against Travis Anderson. Go ahead.
Yeah, me against You know what? Travesty, what the fuck? I can't keep up with these motherfuckers. The sisters of minimum wreckage.
The sisters of,
No, sorry. Alexa's in the background talking about how trash Travis is. Oh, Alexa, I wasn't talking to you. It's okay. I think the thing about Travis, you know, the thing just starts talking. She's like, I also think Travis is trash. For more on that, like, whoa, take
oh, man.
I think that Travis. Imagine how big I am. Imagine the personality I have, the power that I have. That it takes not one, not two, but three illiterate motherfuckers to try to address one kingpin. And I'm going to tell you something. They should have brought more.
Should have brought more.
We ain't going to be enough. If you know me, you know 3 ain't gonna be enough. Bring more, motherfuckers.
So go out of your way and check out Promomania, baby. So with that being said, we'll let the guests go first. Amir, where can we follow you on social media, Doctor?
Shit, you know what? I want you guys go look up Dr. Emir Costello on Instagram. I'm doing a lot of big things over there. Outside of this, the reason why people don't get to see me much anymore, marriage and family therapist, life coach, program director, college professor, and I'm on 2 boards of directors. If you follow me on that Dr. Emir Costello page on Instagram, you're going to get to see all the things I'm doing to try to contribute and give back to the world and spread the love. And I'm always looking for ways to elevate other people. So I'd like the opportunity to get people involved in some of this stuff and get people helping out and stuff like that. So please go follow me there. And if I'm talking about a cause or something, try to help me out. If you have a cause that's worthy, give me a chance to serve alongside you. I'd love to do it.
Beautifully and eloquently said.
We need more power positivity.
We do. We need more inspiration through words and actions. That's beautiful, my dear friend. And you're welcome. And
half of the time I think Amir's Jamaican because he's got so many jobs and he's got so many job titles. I love you, my brother, but damn, you have to be at least an 8th Jamaican.
It's my wife, bro. My wife.
You Jamaican me crazy.
My wife, the expectation. By the way, April 3rd is her birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Monica.
Happy birthday, Monica.
She said one rule. She said, look, I'll give your ugly ass a try, but you can't tell me no.
She said, but you got to give up the midget hoes.
That's
you
it.
just got to give them up, man.
No midget hoes, no telling me no.
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to have it.
Yeah.
Got to have it.
The lifestyle she wants to live, you got to have at least 8 jobs, at least 8 of them things.
Exactly. Well, you got at least 8 job titles. You may not have them jobs, but you got job titles to go with it. By the way, if I know what you're gonna say next, Michael, where you can find me, Dead Man of RWT. You can find me on X. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on a bunch of different social media sites. But the one thing you can do, you can find my link tree below, and you can find me in all those social media spots. But the one thing is our Facebook page, this guy right here, that he created, and I was a co-founder of, and of course, you know who we got to give our love to, which is our second brother from another mother.
Teddy P.
That's another one. Us trio, we started this shit, and we show a lot of love to everybody there, even those 2 knuckleheads over there, because they part of it too. So you can find us all there. And Mr. Daniel Crimmins, where can we find you at, my brother?
Hit it, man.
Find me on the Instagram. Michael put the link down there. Follow, YouTube follow, do all that good stuff. Got some things cooking. Won't say more, but follow.
In other words, he has the smoker going in the back.
Yeah,
with a brisket. That's where he's telling you he got things cooking. Michael Larkin, where can we find you, my brother?
So if you want to subscribe, which you should, to Mike Larkin 92, we are over 1,190 plus as far as subscribers. Let's keep the fan base going because we have these fine gentlemen on the weekly review and so many great people. We appreciate the likes, the subscribes, and the comments. Interaction is so key in today's social media age. Check out StephenMikeShow.com. Check out LFCfights.com. Check out MCL92 and SM Show 1 on Twitter and Instagram, Larkin_92 and MLarkinMB. This fine channel features the weekly review. Dan and I are on our next season of Uncaged, as we are on season 5. We have a lot more cooking in the pipeline for Uncaged. We have Deep Into the Heart of Wrestling with myself, Robert Davis, and the Demoness herself, Miss Nicola McDonald. A lot of pop culture history podcasts. The latest Stephen Mike Show is now on with my brother from another mother, Steve Nicoforos, Stevie Nicks. We have old episodes of Max Wrestling. Dazzy has given me a lot of great archive stuff, and we are using it on the channel. And we have a lot more great things to introduce many people that you may not know, including the doctor, and so many great things. Like, just subscribe to the YouTube LFC podcast. There's so much stuff on this fine channel, and I wouldn't be doing it with any other great people like these motherfuckers right over here to put on the bluntest of terms. So with that being said, for Paul Morales, for Daniel Crimmins, for let me tell you something, bitch, Amir Blackbane Costello, this concludes another weekly review, and we'll end it like this because Amir said it throughout the show. Man, fuck Travis.
Fuck Travis, what a bitch.
Oh, but at the end,
We'll pay you.
We'll pay you, Blade. We're coming for you.
Happy birthday, Monica.
Happy birthday, Monica.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up.
The past is gone. Now is the future.